Hello there. In this video, we'll look how to create awesome roads by using splines. And I know in the previous video, it maybe was a little bit boring for you. Some of you maybe fell asleep because somebody even says, well, splines was so boring. So let's make them less boring in this video, and I'll show you why. Okay, so right here I have a terrain, and I'm just make flat terrain, easy to preview. We'll go take a splines, and we'll go to draw. I'm going from outside terrain, and I'm going like this, just draw splines. Then we open, says what we want to affect, and we want to affect this terrain. Okay, as we're affecting this terrain, let's take our main camera, move slightly out so we can preview, and you can see we have our terrain going somewhere very low because we go to the edges, and somewhere on the top. So let's go ahead and apply some materials. My goal was to create a road, yes, but a road was just a straight, wasn't very interesting, so we need to create something more kind of excitement. The one thing we can do, we can also just apply as material, and we can apply as an ecosystem population on top of this. That is a one-way approach, but other ones have it a little bit more interesting because it is straight line. If you look right here, look, this is just straight line. Yes, it does not look good. Well, first, let's go drop down our road to the surface because I don't want to go like a fence or something. I want just flat on the ground, yes. For this, we're actually going down with this effect right here, and maximum altitude, I'm just saying to 0. Well, this is first one, but we still have some problems going around here. And for that, we're going in our cross-section profile. Let's go edit this filter. And we'll just take some of the points, bring them down here. We'll take our top points and also bring them lower. So we just create this kind of flat profile. And this profile is very cool because if, for example, you decide to do like, road with the carriage wheels have it lines, you can just create new point and just bring it down like this in the middle, and now you have it like from the carriage lines creating. So kind of cool way you can modify some profile of this road, create more realistic. Well, we'll leave it this way. Next, let's go work on our textures, and you can see right here we apply texture, and it's going along of our spline, so it's applied properly. Well, we're going to open this material, and you can see we have published parameters with a spline UVC. It's how it's directly connect from UV to our splines. Right now it's a stretch, and stretch on some images does not work well. So I would recommend to use it uniform so it will be equal going through all of this. Now we can go inside the colors, and we can switch to the mapped pictures. Well, let's go try to load it mapped pictures, and I have one right here, image. We don't need to change alpha for now. As we applied, you can see it's kind of stretched. It does not look good. You see how it's going in. Even our alpha kind of does not apply properly. Well, let's for now just turn it off alpha. And you can see we have an image. It does not. It's just stretching everything, of course, because it's object parametric. So we needed assign that to UV for our splines. Let's go inside color, and notice our our attachment to UV disappear because we don't use it. Well, it's okay. We'll go click on edit graphs, going inside the graph editor here for our materials. Let me expand just slightly so you can see better. Then you can see our input, our projection map, which is going based on the object. Well, this won't work for us. First, we need to restore our connections to the UV spline. Let's go right click, and we'll go to the input, and down here we have its spline UVs. So this will add additional input node for us. Next, we need actual right click and going to texture map, and we're going to use a texture map because texture map using UV coordinates. We connect the spline UVs to our texture. Inside our texture, let's select and preloaded our image. That's what we're using. So I'm going right here, preload our image. So it seems to connect. And now let's go connect to our colors. As we're connecting to our colors, you can see now we have correct UV map applied here. Well, we don't need this projection. We can destroy it. And let's look what we have. We have it scale 1, everything proper, and we have it nice, beautiful road. Well, I'm going to take my camera and bring a little bit closer. So right here, my camera. We'll just select maybe right there. Like this. Okay, so we can see our path, our road. Well, here we come to the same thing. Now, you notice how the materials, they're going very well, going along our path, and they properly map it. But the sides look very ugly. Well, it's the straight sides. And some roads maybe have this, some don't. So let's go take a little bit to extreme those sides so we can see how we can do it. And for this, what I've done, I gone inside the Photoshop and I just create this simple square with a black and white, and you can see lines separated. After, export as PNG. So inside here, we're going to click on our spline. Let's open edit, and we're going to open our material. Now we'll go inside the alpha, and let's go ahead. It says edit graph. So it's what we need. We need to actually access our graph editor. We already have it, our spline here. We have it, our texture. And by the way, inside the spline, notice you can switch right here what you want, uniform, or if you want to stretch it. So you don't lose those parameters. And publish parameters is what people says, hey, display them for the user to use. And you can do that as well if you need it. But right here, we'll just put it and create it. So let's go ahead, right click. And we can do same. We can just copy, paste. We'll just do same things. So it's much easy, only except this image. We're going to select this one. Okay, we'll select one. And now on a gray, we don't need color. We're going and we connect to the alpha. So as we're connecting to alpha, you can see it does apply, but it's definitely needed inverse and it needed rotate. So I'm going to inverse here. And next, we'll just go rotate once. And now you can see the edge is applied much more interesting. So it's not straight, it's applied something kind of edgy. And of course, I take this to the extreme because I want to see the edge so it's very visible. You can do a little bit longer. You can also create a little bit less. So it's up to you how you decide to design this. The problem is sometimes it is repeatable. So you can see repetition if you look on a long stretch without plans or anything. You can combine different sizes of maps together. Of course, we can do inside here by having some math functions with combiner and other things. Or if you want to a little bit easier way, you can also just go ahead, copy, and we can connect to the transparency. But you know what, let's do even more interesting. So like, for example, I have it right here, my selecting node that I'm going to use, the, again, texture image, and I'm going to just use it alpha image for our rocks. And look right here, between rocks, you see we have it like green grass, yes? So instead that we can, if we take this and connect to the transparency, and it says you want 100%, yes, let's go set 100%. Oh, we got the rocks off, so we go inverse. And as we're inversing, you can see now we remove that grass. So you can create a multi-materials and you can use the alpha and you can use the transparency to achieve a different effect. So now you can see this is going on your normal terrain, like almost cobblestone applied. Well, we can go ahead, take our now terrain if we need it. And we can even go and replace this, maybe with a grassy look or with some other. So we have it now. Look, we have it nice, beautiful road going inside our terrain. Well, this is all look cool. Let me look now and show some problems you may have it as you're working with this. First, we can take and apply ecosystem to this. And you know what? Let me go replace this. I'm going to change this so we can preview a little bit easy. I'm going basic, and I'm going just with a flat white, so easy to see what's going on here. Okay, if we open the spline and we're going in the material, we can add also ecosystem. And it's interesting things because sometimes it would work, sometimes it won't work, so it's not very stable because depend how is your spline. Sometimes it would go on top, will affect, sometimes go on bottom. What I do recommend, if you want to do, use a different spline for your ecosystem, so it will work a little bit better. But you could try to do this way. So you could create new layer, and a new layer, you can go and apply ecosystem. Okay, let's go click right there. So we have our ecosystem applied, and you can go and select different plant. You can select different, like for example, we go, let's select the grass. Yes, just something, you know, teeny tiny piece of grass. And in some cases, when we start populating, if there are a spline below object, it won't populate. Or if it's go above, plants will start floating, literally. So right here, you can see they create the plants, they put it on our kind of along the splines as well. Yes, ecosystem. And it's actually okay right here. I think they're going a little bit down below. But in some cases, when I was creating my plants, actually was floating. So if they're floating for you, you can try to go inside the density, and in option offset from surface, you can drop them down. But if your spline going move like this, problem is some will drop below ground, some above. So it's kind of playing. It's why I say the separate spline sometimes work better. And now you want to populate maybe between rocks with this. Okay, so what we can do, we can enable variable density on this. And let's enable highlighter. So I'm just go right there, click highlighter, so we can preview a distribution. And right here, you see where is the currently distribution for our plants going. We can go right click, edit functions for our variable density. And we'll do actually the same what we've done almost before. We go texture map right here. Notice we have it UV coordinates. We needed different input. Yes, we needed input for our spline UVs. Then we'll connect this, and we'll connect grayscale to our density. And inside here, we want to be sure we're using properly. So I'm going to open, and I'm going to use it the alpha. Notice with alpha, it will populate in the white areas. So you can see where it's populating. For this, you need kind of inverse. And then you'll see now between rocks, it's where the plant's supposed to populate it. Ecosystem is kind of picky in this way. It's what I found out. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it doesn't work. It's kind of going back and forth on this. Well, we'll go disable and let's go click populate, and you'll see what that was meaning. See, like right here, it kind of does not populate it even on a variable. We can increase density. We can take a little bit on a scaling. Let's click populate again. And you can see it's kind of does not populate it. So it is variable density sometimes very unusual, not unusual, kind of work or doesn't work. It's a weird way, okay? Let's put this way. It's the reason why I kind of recommend you don't use it this way. I recommend you use different splines and populate it with the different splines. But again, if you instead using the density, variable density, if you want to add maybe just the rocks, you know, instead plants, you want to use the rocks. Okay, right here, and let's delete our plants. And then you want to use it populate with the rocks. Now let me density decrease a little bit density on this and increase scaling. Okay. So rocks will be kind of displaying, and let's see when it's done populating how many. Yes, let's populate with rocks. It's a lot of rocks. And now I'm just going to decrease this amount of rocks, so we'll have it very few of those rocks. And right here you can see how they kind of floating around. It's kind of okay-shy, but I think the best way you can do it's take Going to directions right here, where density, there you go, there's my density, and maybe put it minus 0.1, so the 10 centimeters below. And you can drop them down. Depending on the size of the rock, they maybe disappear, they maybe have right there. If they're disappearing, go ahead and increase slightly scaling, so you'll have it additional. If when you create, by the way, when you put it in, you can see how rocks now going on the side of the road kind of look cool. They're a little bit different colors. To fix this, go in world browser, going in the materials, and right here we can see pebbles. Just double time click to open our pebbles. You can leave it same. If the colors look same, you can leave it same, but just take maybe highlights away, because pebbles, it's not wet on the road, so they will be dull, a little bit more color. If you want to change colors, you can go same, and you can change map to the road colors what you're using, so then they will match. But I think this way it's also matching just fine. Well, another thing what I want to show you, it is when you populate it this way, you can notice right here, see how many it's populating down below. Even we don't use it, and same like on this edge, look how much they're populating. So to fix this, we'll go select our spline in editor, okay, and right here in a spline, we need to go down to this says which one it was influence, unchecked project, and select one that we want to influence. So in this case, I want to influence terrain. I will take this, press 0, and it's not always pick up, so you need kind of click OK, reopen, or you can also just click inverse, and that should work as well. Now when we're going, let's go back to our system, and we'll just click populate here and see what's happening. It disappears, so it does not populate them on the place where we don't need it. It's only populating them on our road, so in a place where we actually want ecosystem population work. Well, let's look on some other population as we speak with ecosystem, and it is nice. So we created a cool road looking. We can have it underlay materials, some rocks. We can create another spline to go next to our road, and this is just a simple, you create spline and we'll same things. Let's go from here. We'll just follow the kind of road if you need it, or you can copy and paste existing spline, and in a spline we'll just go down. Well, we don't need to set any effect, yes, because we don't need effect terrain in this case. But what we want to do, we want to have it materials, okay, and we want to only ecosystem, so we don't want anything else. And next we want to go ahead and make it not as wide as it is, so it's a 3 meters. Let's go to set maybe 0.5, so 50 centimeters about for this line. Now we can go in our material and we can go and create ecosystem this way. So again, you can play around, like add maybe plant. Let's go add tree. Yeah, why not? Let's go add low resolution trees. And I kind of like those trees. They look cool. These trees look very cool. So we'll just add some of those trees. Okay, and we'll just can click and populate. And you can see it's populating along the spline line there. If you add more different type of trees, of course it will look better. We have it quite a bit low on the density. You can pop up your density more, so you have it more plants going along our line spline. You can bring spline closer to another one if you need it to the road. With big trees, probably this is about right distance where we put it, because we don't want like roots going over, but you can do that as well. And or put it bushes or other things. And you can see it's very nicely plants going by the side of the road in this case. Well, before we also use a painting tool. So we usually take a brush and we paint plants in other areas. What if I want just placed around here some plants? We can also do with a special closer area with our splines. So I'm going to click and I'll go to create like this spline. Let's go right there. And I'm going to click on area called close the spline. So I'll close the spline and we'll just click, okay, right there. And let's go closing. Where's our closing? Right there. There you go. Oh, I think I closed the wrong spline. Oh yeah, I closed all of the spline. So let me undo that. Unselect that spline. There you go. Well, instead, so I'll just reselect because I still kind of select my other spline before I did this. Well, okay. So there is we have a new spline. Yes, and we're going from these points. Let's go like right there, maybe. And we'll go click. And look, now it's closing. So it's kind of looped together between of them. So next we'll go select materials again. And as we select materials, if we look on our main camera, let's take our and just zoom it out a little bit. You can see we have this territory already with like checker colors applied with the will go into our spline. So we'll go open this spline we just created. And notice this is going as a closed area. So not just a line what we have before, but enclosed area. Same things what we done in previous. We're going to open material editor, add new layer, convert to the ecosystem. Let's go add our plant right here. We'll go add plant. You can also just add as well any object, rocks, population of rocks, maybe just create stackable rocks, you know, this way. So kind of like rock formation, you can create very, very cool there as well. But we'll do this. We'll have it same plans what we have before. Okay, and now if we click populate, you can see they populated just only in this area. Nice about this that you can shape where you want to plants, like if you're painting. But in this case, if you want to modify, you don't need to go take your razor, erase, create new plants, paint them again and all that stuff. You can just simple go inside, add new plant. Like for example, we'll go add some different plant. Okay, and just click populate, and now you have it different plants as well there. So you have it all is different type. Well, this is actually quite a bit big plant. Yeah, so let's go make it a little bit smaller. There you go, just for now. Okay, and you'll notice we do have it our underline material. We can do same things as we done before. We can just says only project of the ecosystem, so it's no material. Or maybe in some case you want to utilize that material, you want to maybe create more as a foresty look area. Like for example, you have a grassy field around and we have it some foresty look in this specific area. So it is good way to isolate as material placements as well. Okay, so we have a lot of cool stuff here. We can also create roads, we can create tubes, a lot of things we can, but not in this video, maybe in next, because those ones is just a single cases. I think this is most useful. And one more useful things I want to show you with the splines. Right here, let's go create a new layer. Well, layer, new terrain. Yes, it's what I want to do. So I'll go create new terrain. We'll have it our main camera. Let's go from the top. Then I go edit terrain and I just disable this edges, so I just want to see terrain itself. Next, what we can do, sometimes you have this kind of complex terrain, yes, and you want to build a road, but it's very hard to go between areas kind of when you build it. So with spline you have this cool option. So you just need click spline, you'll click on the beginning and you click on the end, and after this you're going down where it says more and select Pathfinding. So when you click find path, it's telling you what is distance between 2 points. Click OK and notice what it does. It's actually gone through this and find a better path for the road. Sometimes it's going through the mountain, but in many cases it's work very good. So I think it's a fun way, very fast to create a path for the river, for the road, whatever you want to do. And of course we can click just to affect our terrain, so we can preview. And you can see right there we'll have it, our road like right there going through. You know what? Let's have it spline cross section till we're here. Yes. And we'll just go create a pipe for this. So tube, set, and let's create maybe a little bit wider, maybe like 10 meters, so we can see this very good. And the same in our pipe. Let's go create 10 meters pipe. So we have a quite a bit large pipe, I think, there. Okay, next we'll take our main camera. And there you go. There's our pipe. You can see how it's going. Right there you can see our pipe going through the terrains, and that's what I say, sometimes it's kind of try to find path, and it's try find path interesting going this way. Of course that's because it's a tube, it's will acting this way, but we can also going and modify. Oops, right here I want this one edit, I don't want to edit this. And right here we have our tube. We can go to the ribbon. We can select as a road, and of course if we select this way they will affect a little bit different our terrain if we need it, or in some cases we'll be just cutting through. Okay, let's go select our terrain. Well, this is the reason why I did not do, because terrain 3 we need to select what we want to affect. Yes, so and right here it should now showing us our path right here. See how it's cut through the mountain right there, cut through. Well, I think this is kind of fun. What mostly what I like it, I do like a lot with these splines and creating this realistic roads. Okay, let's go delete this one. We don't need that spline, but I do want to kind of look closer right here if we're going, and that's what we created. Okay, let's go take it down below like this. And here we created a nice interesting path now on the middle of our area. We applied transparency, we applied alpha map on the side, so the road does not look straight like somebody cut. It's look more organic, more natural. Placement with the plants. We also apply even some rocks, pebbles on the top of the road, so it's add also dimensions on the top with this, and those ones may be a little bit compensated for displacement or normals, because we cannot use them on the splines. So this is maybe kind of help with this. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, or you have other ways to work around, or you find some other cool way you can use it, please let me know. We do look on the splines a little bit more in the future when we have it work with procedural terrain, and we'll look how we can detect close by to our splines, so it's easy way to create like rivers with erosion and other things. So that is our next step. We'll be working with the splines. But for the path and roads, I think this is one of the best way and interesting way to create roads inside the Vue. Thank you for watching, and have a